Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Bhinneka Online Toastmasters Club. My name is Natalie, and today I'm going to be acting as SAA and also president because both of our SAA and president cannot come to our meeting today. Before we start the meeting, I would like to present to you our housekeeping video made by yours truly, Robin Chan, years ago that we still use until now. So enjoy the video.
The sound is not here in the class.
All right. Thank you for your attention. And to open this meeting, I would like to extend my warmest welcome to all visiting Toastmasters. And I can see there is no guest at this moment. All are Toastmaster members. So if you can just briefly introduce yourself, where you are at, which club you belong to, and is this your first time coming to Bhinneka? My long lost friend, my old friend, Robin Chen, to start.
All right. Hi, Nat. Hi, everyone. So I'm here today to be your Toastmaster of the meeting. And yeah, so it's good to be back in Bhinneka Online Toastmasters. Yeah, it was my first online club during the pandemic. We started this club together, so it's good to be back.
Good to have you back. Robin is based in Mauritius, by the way. So yeah, it's very interesting to see people from all over the world connected through Zoom. Second one, we have Toastmaster Lorna from Cape Town, South Africa.
Hi, my name is Lorna, and yes, I'm from Cape Town, South Africa. I am a member of Trainers and Coaches, District 87, as well as Sarike Toastmasters Club. Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you, Lorna. I think you're the first African who actually visits our club. So we're very happy to have you. Welcome you very warmly.
Thank
Hope
you.
you enjoy the meeting. Thank you, Lorna.
Thank you.
Matthias is also African, Natalie. Robin is African.
Oh my gosh, sorry, Robin. My geography is really bad. So you're the second one because Robin is actually used to be members. Next is Jennison.
Hi. Yes. I'm from Pacific International Advance, which is online club. I like attending online clubs, and yeah, even on Sundays, right? Even on Sunday nights. But yes, I plan my schedule a lot. So when I see I have some free time on the Sundays, it's actually fine for me to dedicate it to Toastmasters because I already plan the other part of my week to do work and family and friends.
Awesome. Good to have you, Jensen. Next, we have Toastmaster Sanjung. I don't know if she can speak at this moment, but you can introduce yourself later on, Toastmaster Sanjung, if you're busy. And last but not least, we have Sharm. Sharm and Jay. Sharm, are you able to talk?
Hi,
Hello.
hi Natalie and
welcome.
everybody. Yes, greetings from. Yeah, I just saw your email and I thought I'm kind of bored. So why not hang out with some Toastmasters? So that's why I'm here. And also Malaysia is giving education session. So I thought why not? So yeah, looking forward to the meeting.
Thank you, Xiang. Welcome to our club. And of course, great, reason to come. When you're bored, just come to Toastmaster meeting. And I see Yvonne. I don't know if Yvonne can speak. Yvonne, are you there? Okay, I'm gonna give you a chance later on. And last but not least, we have Alicia Curtis, who's gonna be our education speaker.
Thank you, Natalie. Hello, everyone. I'm located in Sydney, Australia. I'm a member of 5 clubs. I'm a member of Advanced #RN Speakers in Malaysia, District 51. I'm in America's Best, which is my home club in District 119, New York, USA. Cuyahoga Falls Toastmasters in Ohio. Cuyahoga Falls, that's where it's located. Home Sydney in Sydney, and that's Debatable Club, all online clubs. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Alicia. And I'm so happy to have all of you tonight. I hope you all enjoy the meeting. And for that, I would like to introduce our Toastmasters of the meeting tonight, who is none other than one of the founding members of Bhinneka Online Toastmasters from Mauritius, that is located in African continent. Thank you. Please welcome Toastmasters Robin Chan.
Yay! All right, thank you very much, Natalie. Hi, everyone. Hi again. My name is Robin, and today I'll be your Tom, the Toastmaster of the meeting. And it's so great to be back at Bhinneka Online Toastmasters. It feels like home, like a second home, but online. So it's good to see familiar faces, and it's good to see some new faces as well, like new members. So it's great to see you to join Bhinneka Online Toastmasters, because this club, I believe that, when you join this club, you will grow a lot, you will advance so much. So let's move on to the agenda. Can you share the agenda in the chat, Natalie or Rendra, so that we can have the agenda, everybody can have the agenda right now? Okay. Okay, so first, let's see the theme of today. The theme of today is Path to Peace. So I've asked a few of you, what does it mean to have, what does this mean to you? Path to Peace. So, when I heard this theme, the only thing I thought of, like, Kung Fu Panda, like inner peace, dinner please, dinner with peace. And that's all I heard. But for you, what does peace mean to you? So before I move on to the next part of the meeting, I would like to share with you what peace means to me. So for me, the path to peace is to be able to accept mistakes when things go wrong. Is okay to say, I'm okay with that. So for me, peace is to say I'm okay with making mistakes and to accept with compassion. And that's peace for me. So now I would like to ask Jennison, our general evaluator, what does peace mean to you? What is the path to peace for you? Before I let you to lead the team of the evaluation team.
Thank you, Robin. Peace. One thing comes to mind actually when I talk about peace is I've always been a very active thinker. I think a lot. I churn problems in my head a lot. When back in high school, I used to be stubborn that I want to do all the math problems in my head, which back then I thought it sounds cool, but it made my brain work overtime, even though I didn't actually need it to. So for example, in the shower, I might think about some things I haven't finished. And badly, when trying to sleep, I might still be thinking that, oh, there's this job I need to do. There's this thing I need to follow up. So this has robbed me of my peace. But of course, the solution I found is, since the start of this year, I've been taking notes. Yeah. Just I've been taking notes. If there's something I need to do, I need to be able to trust myself that I've noted it down so that my brain can, okay, we don't need to think about this anymore. I've noted it down.
So noting down your notes so that you can have peace with yourself.
Yes.
All right, that's very good. As you can see, everyone has their own path to peace. Not like everyone have the same path to peace. Everyone have a different meaning, a different definition of the path, the way to peace. So guys, I would like to encourage you to share the word of the day as well, which is concord, which is the definition is agreement or harmony between people or groups. Okay, so the word is concord, agreement, which means agreement or harmony between people or groups. All right, so now let's move on to the agenda. Is the agenda in the chat right now? Let me see. Not yet.
It is already there.
Already
Keisha
there?
sent it.
I haven't got it yet. Okay, I got it. Let me see. All right, let's move on to the next part of the meeting, which is, let me introduce you our general evaluator. Our general evaluator is none other than Jennison, all the way from, what's the club name again? Let me see.
Pacific Advance.
Pacific
International
Advance. Yeah, so
Advance.
Pacific Advance Club from Singapore. Is that right? Is that a club from Singapore? I'm not very sure about
It's
that.
based in Malaysia, but it's fully online.
Ah, all right. Okay, great to know. It's based in Malaysia. It's fully online. So I'd like to give the floor to Jennison to introduce your team. Over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, in fact, Rendra is also part of Pacific Advance. Yeah, love to see you here, Rendra. And when you mentioned part of my team, it's not actually my team. It's the people that have given their time for us to make this meeting great so that we can improve our public speaking and improve as a club. So I take no credit. They all deserve themselves. The first person I call is the counter Toastmaster Sanjong.
Thank you, Toastmaster Genison. Good evening, my fellow Toastmaster. My name is Sanju. Today, I have privilege to serve you as a counter. As a counter, I would like to note every filler word such or unnecessary word that come out from every speaker. Hopefully, this is evaluation of all us for our better performance. And I will report my report at the end of the meeting. Back to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjong. Next, we have grammarian, which is Toastmaster Natalie.
Thank you, GE. Hello, everyone. I'm back as your grammarian, and my role tonight is basically helping you to improve your language proficiency. And let's do it in two ways. So the first one, I'm gonna listen and take note of things that can be improved, whether it's from the pronunciation side, from the meaning, the phrases. And then the second way that I'm gonna do it is to also listen and take notes of things that are so beautiful, things that pleasant to hear, words that can inspire us, and I will share it at the end of the meeting. A reminder again, just like what our Tom has mentioned, our word of the day today is concord. And the meaning is agreement or harmony between people or group. We are in concord to support this notion. That's an example. So if possible, you can use concord as part of your speech. Back to you, GE.
Thank you. If I may confirm something, grammarian, is it similar to accord? We are in accord?
Good question. I think it's kind of similar, it depends on the context that you're using it, and maybe the native speaker, Alicia, can confirm about it.
Alicia, or would you like to?
Yes, it is. So one's like a formal agreement and the other one is like a consensus. So it's depending on how you context the word and group the words. So my way of saying it is you concord by negotiating to keep the records, where you accord for the formal agreement. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but your voice is quite low, Alicia. Maybe your microphone's volume is somewhere that low.
Can you hear me, Natalie?
Yes.
Yeah.
It might be your microphone or your hearing, because I've just checked it.
Is somebody listens Alicia in a low
Guys,
level
come back.
volume?
Sorry, what did you say?
The volume of the
I'm
microphone that you are
playing with
saying.
you, Sunshine.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Go ahead there.
Yeah. So accord is a formal agreement, whereas concord is like the status having the group, the consensus of the group.
I see.
I'll try and put it in the chat for you guys.
I see. Thank you, our resident native speaker, Alicia. I think we are in concord that now we understand the meaning of the word concord and accord. So yes, I think I raise a motion to put both of these as our word of the day because they are similar and we will benefit if we learn the difference so that we then get laughed at by native speakers when we use the wrong term at the wrong time. All right, our next role taker is Toastmaster Dian as our timer.
Hi, good evening. I am Dian, and today, as your timer, my duty is times, prepare speech, table topic speech, and speech evaluation during this meeting. And I'm going to show green light as a qualifying times, yellow light as a targeting times, and red light as maximum times. And you have 30 seconds to start. For prepare speech, I'm going to show the green light at 5 minutes and yellow light at 6 minutes and red light at 7 minutes. For table topic speaker, you have 1 until 2 minutes. And I'm going to show the green light at 1 minute, yellow light at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red light at 2 minutes. And for speech evaluation, you have 2 until 3 minutes. And I'm going to show the green light at 2 minutes, yellow light 2 minutes 30 seconds, and red light at 3 minutes. And also, I'm going to report the result of timer to the GE during the meeting. Back to the GE.
Thank you. Yes, that's all the timings for today's sessions. Now, our final role taker is none other than our most trusted person. The only person we can trust with a double role is Natalie again. That's our ballot counter.
Hi, so I'm here as the ballot counter. And of course, don't worry, Jennison. I'm used to do this because I'm always the Zoom host. Always the Zoom host. That's like my title. So as the ballot counter, I will launch the poll after the last session, after the evaluation session, where you can vote your favorite speaker, table topic speaker, as well as evaluator. At the end of the meeting or at the end of the session, I will announce the winner. Back to you, G.
Thank you, everyone and every role taker and everyone for being here. And my role as the general evaluator is to give an overall evaluation from before the meeting even started to where it ends, so that we as a club can become better, and as a person, we can also keep learning to be better. All right, that's the evaluation team. Again, we all volunteered. We all spend our time, precious time, to go here. So let us applaud ourselves. back to Toastmasters of the meeting.
Thank you very much, our GE Jennison. Let's move on to the next part of the meeting. Now we will have an edu session and we'll followed by the prepared speeches. We have 2 prepared speeches. Get ready for that because we have the latest members of Bhinneka Online Toastmasters who will be delivering their speeches. But before that, let me introduce you our guest speaker, who is none other than Alicia Curtis, all the way from Australia. But before that, I asked her this question: what does path to peace mean to you? She said to me that the path to peace is world peace and that everyone is equal. So that's for her. How about you? You can put it in the chat. And now let me introduce you our next speaker, who is Alicia. She will be delivering her edu session on using Udly effectively. Let's welcome Alicia Curtis, DTM. Over to you, Alicia.
Thank you very much, Robin. I just want to get a bit of a feeling from the room. Who here has used Udly? One person. Okay, this is brilliant because this is the type of audience I like to work with. Now, Udly came out about 2 years ago by Toastmasters International, and the whole purpose of Udly is it's like Grammarly. I'm sure some of you have heard of Grammarly. It's an artificial intelligence, and it's there to enhance and help us improve with our communication and speaking skills. I'm going to take through and we're going to walk through the Udly app from start to finish. And I'm actually going to bring the Udly app in to part of the meeting, and I'm going to showcase everything from the ground up. So sit back, relax. And if you do have any questions, please unmute yourself at all times because it's really important that we make this as interactive, user-friendly. And if you do have questions, you get confused, please let me know. So Udly, as I said, it started about 3-4 years ago, and Varun Puri, who is the CEO, actually trained me how to use this. So I've been very lucky to go into training with him last year and being able to have the ability to use this. Udly is built into our Toastmasters profile. So my suggestion, if you want to follow along with me, go to toastmasters.org and then use your email address and your password because you can find the app, the inbuilt app in there. So what we do is we go into the thing, password, username, and password. Then we come to what we call the My Home profile. So it will go straight there. But if you do get lost, up the top where it says welcome your name, so welcome Natalie, welcome Rendra, welcome Yvonne, click on My Home. So hover over it, click on My Home, and boom, we come down to this screen. So this is the particular screen, and someone has already brought their Udly in. Fantastic. And we come to this screen. So what we have to do is we have to scroll down and go to from the organization to you. And where it says Udly, we click on that app or that tile. And then we patiently wait. Now, if you have not logged in and used it before, it will sign you up. But because I've already been signed up, I'm not going to go through the process of actually teaching you how to sign up. It is automatic and it's built into your Toastmasters thing. So it's pretty much click it and say save and then sign up. All right. So when you get into the Toastmasters Udly app, this is what the home page, this is where you'll come, usually to the library, but I'm going to go home and this is what you're going to see. We're going to go through all of it. Okay. So we've got tutorials, how to record a speech, how to practice your table topics, a welcome from our past international president, Matt Kinsey, featured speeches, and it does actually feature some speeches, and also how to add Udly into a call. So we've already brought, someone has already brought their Udly into the call, but I'm going to showcase how we actually do it. So what we have to do up the top of the Zoom meeting, you know, where it has the little green shield with the tick and where it says it's next to the recording, we click on that and then we click on invite link, copy the link, and then over in the Udly, we copy paste. I think everyone's now going to bring Udly in. Okay. And then what we do is we click join. So what's going to happen is it's now loading up a fresh Udly bot So the AI is loading up. It's attempting to join. As you can see, it's waiting in the waiting room. I'll click admit and in it will come. So the second Udly has now been admitted. So just as a heads up, this particular Udly will take up 2 hours. The maximum meeting time it will take is 2 hours, and it will record the meeting and all that, which is kind of cool. So 3 minutes already. So everyone's bringing their little Udly bots now into it. Awesome. What we'll do now is we're going to go through all the screens and through each process of it. Okay, so we've got the home. Now we've got the dashboard. So I'll click on the dashboards. And what this does, it actually gives the data from every single meeting that I have had recorded for the last couple of months. Now I have had a bit of a cleanup, but it has a bit of a recording on the last 30 days of the recording that we have done. So on average, words per minute that I'm speaking is 179 words per minute. So it's picking up all this information. It gives insights into the sentences and is the key word for me, my filler word. How many summary, I guess the summary and some other insights that are used here. So down the bottom is the insights. You can actually focus with the data from the last 7, so last week and 30 days. And then you can also words per minute. Yeah, WPM is words per minute. That's the acronym. WPM is words per minute. Okay. So it gives you an opportunity to actually choose the data that you want to actually set. So if you want to do for interview, one-to-one, meeting, presentation, or other, and then it will group it for you. Okay. So questions asked, and it will also focus on how many questions were asked in those particular Udly bot sessions. The talk time, what is the average talk time? So number of hours. So if you're doing 1 hour and 20 minutes, etc. And then if you want to choose a focus within the data itself, okay, so say the filler words, we can actually look at the filler words that we want to look at. So we can update the dashboard with that. So that's what the dashboard is. It's just statistics and giving you an overall view on what is actually happening in the meetings that you record, and also giving you a bit of time so you can actually focus on how many words per minute and averaging it out on a month basis. Now, this is my Udlys that I have recorded, and I will actually pick up the one from December the 29th because I think that's probably the best one. And I'm going to show you how this is all split. So it records each meeting, as I said, up to 2 hours, and it gives you a really interesting structure. So we'll go into this one here. Okay, here we go. One of the things I like about Udly, and this is something that your club might want to consider, Nat, going forward, is bringing in the Udly. If you have to take minutes or have a particular meeting where you need to have minutes, so say if you've got a business session, you can bring the Udly bot into the session and it records word for word every single thing. So if you look on the left-hand side, if you look, it records word for word every single thing that you're saying. So what you can do is literally copy the transcript and put that into a Word document. So the secretary actually has a whole copy, word for word, minute for minute, second for second, of exactly what has been said. So that's just something that I think you might want to consider if you have a business session. The real meat in the meat pie, as us Aussies would say, is on the right-hand side. Now, for the sake of good order, I'm going to use myself as the person that we can criticize and critique. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the actual data that we analyze. All right, so you can actually watch it as a whole, the whole meeting. So if we were recording this particular meeting, we can look at the whole meeting, so we can pick up what Nat has said, what Rendra has said, what Diane has said, what Jennison has said. But we're going to use me because we all need to have me as the guinea pig and we can all criticize me tonight. And what we can do is we can look at the coaching and the analytics. So we can see all the data and what we need to focus on. So let's have a look at word choice. The grammarian and R counter is now going to become invalid, just as a hint with this. So Rendra, our Excel spreadsheet, is going to disappear. Oh, okay, he likes that idea. I don't like the idea. Okay, what went well? So repetition. How many repeated words that are said? So I've just said and it will pick up on the as well. What I like about this, so repetition is the and, you know, repeating the words in more than 2 or 3 times. What I love about this, see how it's got the little circle with the thing? It's actually recorded it. And what it does is it goes to the exact minute of where that recording is and where you said it in the meeting. So it's actually recorded over the top. So it allows you to know where you said it in the meeting, how you actually said the double clutch or the repetition. So you can watch all the recordings and you can actually watch in your speech. This is where it becomes really good as a speech coach, and where if you've got a coach for helping you to be with speaking and communication, you can actually watch that particular recording of where you've actually done the double repetition, etc. All right, we'll go down. And let me pull that back up. So the best way to do things is see the little arrow down and up. It's the best way. The R counter. Here we go. And this is not going to lie for us, folks. This is not going to lie. 267 filler words at this particular meeting of an hour. It's going to pick them up and it's going to have a 97% accuracy. Was said 148 times. Okay, 53 times. Oh, and like. And again, you can actually watch exactly where everyone has said and you can click on the recordings with the little circle and the play button in there. What could have gone better? Now, this is really interesting. Non-inclusive language is a big thing that it's picking up on these days. And it's very interesting. Gender non-inclusive. Guys. Apparently that's gender non-inclusive. Ableist. You're stupid. Apparently that's ableist language. And ableist language is crazy. And it gives you an actual different option of what to say. Instead of saying stupid, say silly, crazy, say confusing, or say guys, say folks, so that you're gender inclusive. Interesting, I know. And the weak words are like the and ah counter, but they pick it up as what they would say as it's used in the sentence correctly. However, there's a better way of saying it, and they're going to pick it up and they're going to say, is it enhancing the sentence structure? So thinking of this as from the grammarian's point of view, is it enhancing the sentence structure or is it not enhancing the sentence structure? And again, if you want to watch 144 so's, my friends, you can click and watch 144 so's by the people in the meeting, or by yours truly who said 144 so's. Sentence starters, how we begin our sentence structure. There we go. So many so's. Look at all the so's that I did. You can all laugh. Look at that. And it counts exactly where in the meeting I did the so's. How ridiculous is that? Now, I'll just be honest with you. This has a 97% accuracy. Some of because when we use certain words like so or you know, and it picks it up as a filler word, they actually might be correct in the sentence structure. So be a bit aware of that. And this is where the human touch, and why I would not rely 100% on this every single meeting when you're doing the R counter or grammarian report. That's just a bit of feedback, and that is something that we're trying to express when we come out on these visits. I've now clicked on listening, and it shows what could have gone better, questions asked. It shows all the questions that you asked in the meeting, which is interesting. I don't know why we need to know why the question's asked, but it's always an interesting thing to see. And then again, if you click on the it's like a hyperlink, you can actually click on it again, and then you can go to the meeting part and you can watch it. These are small things that you might want to consider when you're delivering with your speeches. Okay, what else have we got here? All right. Talk time, it gives the percentage. So in this particular meeting, because I'm recording it now, it's going to block it. See how it got the colors of the people. So I've got myself, Kevin, Jan, Tanishq, Yannicka, Rosie, Sanjuni, and another Sanjuni, that's Sanjuni. It shows the recording of who's actually taken the most amount of speaking space. This might be something that you might want to consider. And the way that we're trying to sell this point of it is someone, like say the Toastmaster of the day is doing the most speaking. So then we'll give them to the next meeting as an example. We give them a role, like an R counter role or a timer role, because they had a high proportion of speaking at the previous meeting. That's the thinking behind this from a Toastmasters perspective or a Toastmasters meeting. So as you can see, I took 55% of the meeting. I spoke for 55% of that particular meeting. And then Kevin, who was one of my mentors over in Hawaii, spoke for 19%. And then it then goes down and categorizes it. All right. Monologues, because people speak in monologues and speak in rhyme and all that. Thank you very much, and have the pattern. So it also showcases that. Delivery, and I think this is something that we should look as well. It gives you how much words per minute that a person speaks at. I speak very fast. The average is 115 to 120 words per minute. I'm speaking at 165 words per minute, which is considered conversational. I used to speak 200, but using Udly actually really helped me overcome speaking faster than I used to speak. So watch how it actually how we, from a coaching point of view, if you're coaching a speaker or if you're actually being coached, this is really important so that you can actually pick up, how can I get my words per minute into my speeches? Because on average, I think a male speaks between 130 to 180 words per minute, and a female speaks between 100 to 140 words per minute. So this is where we look at this and we go, okay, how do we help ourselves reduce the words per minute? I think it's a really it's a great tool in regards to that. And it also gives you the variation of, is it conversational and how many words per minute throughout the meeting. So it gives you the graph, one of those graphs, to show you how fast you are speaking for that 55% chunk that I was speaking for, and where I was speaking fast. So I really like, from the statistic points of view, this is a great tool, especially if you're going in the international speech or humorous speech contest. This, Natalie, is going to change everything for you. And of course, we've all got to have the resting bitch face like this. So it actually picks up on how many smiles you do in the meeting. So are you actually smiling in the meeting? I know what we're all saying. Woohoo! So Natalie, you and I, we can't can't have thing. So it actually takes focus of how many smiles you're going to be taking in the meeting. That's a bit of the breakdown of that. And then it used to actually show the centering, and it does show the centering. So I'll show the centering. What this does is, are we square? How are we actually looking into the camera? So sitting up straight, how are we actually effectively looking into the camera? Because a lot of people find this really hard. This is a really good thing. And another thing, especially, but this is not going to help when we get to the in-person contest. However, it will help when you are doing the speeches online to practice. What is my percentage of eye contact into the camera? And usually people on this, when they first start using Udly, only get between 20 to 35%. That's the average I'm seeing across the board. But I'm now using 66%. So I've improved. Yay. We're going to leave that, and we're now going to come over to some of the other things over here in Udly. So you can actually practice, you can record your speeches. You can actually do practicing, especially for the guys here who are non-native English speakers, or for the ladies in general, or the folks. So we'll have the inclusive, gender inclusive language here. We can use practice like for metaphors, enhancing and building the analogies into our sentences. We can practice on spinning a yarn, which is trying to focus on your train of thought, how I actually think. Am I thinking before I speak, or do I speak before I think? What is my thinking pattern? The fillers, am I actually saying so, you know? And it has a whole story thing there that you can do. And storytelling, telling a creative story to artificial intelligence and giving a thumbs up, or is it good, is it average? And these are some of the exercises and tools that you can use. But of course, you can actually practice doing presentations. So we can't do it at the moment because I've got the bot in here and I'm using the camera at the moment. But you can, up the top, if you click practice or hover over practice, you can practice your presentations, and you can also practice table topics, which I think is a great thing, especially given, you know, you've got the table topics contest coming up, and also the international and the evaluation contest. I think from a presentation point of view, this is a great thing. So I'm going to stop the share. I noticed that the red light has come on, but I will take 1 or 2 questions to help you. How can I help you use this effectively? Jennison.
Yes. Does it work on a different language?
No, it only does in English at the moment. Yep.
Good to know.
Okay, cool. So if you have, like, say, a Bahasa club, I'm not sure what they're going to be doing with the other languages. I think they might potentially be looking at maybe French, simplified Chinese, or one of the either Mandarin or simplified Chinese. So be aware that it may have that eventually. Remember that these guys are actually in Washington State, literally in this like little room at the moment, but they're expanding. So they're becoming quite well known in the Silicon Valley, and they will probably they're not actually in the Silicon Valley, they're in Washington near Microsoft, but they're all Google X employees, former Google X employees. So I wouldn't be surprised in the next year to 2 years that they will have different languages attached to it. Does anyone else have any questions?
Yes, I have a question, Alicia. How do we use
Sanjung. Yep.
Yeah. How do we use like that practice thing? Should we just go to like Udly, or do we have meeting open first, or?
Okay, so to use the practice thing, you can't use it whilst you're in the Toastmasters meeting, but you can use it whilst you're directly in Udly. Always use it whilst you're in Udly. I would suggest clicking on practice, clicking on presentation. So I'll show you here. We can't do it now because, as I said, we're using the camera, but you can allow access, and then it will record, and then it will come back within about 5 to 10 minutes. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes because it's processing the data over, and it will give you exactly the information I showed you from the Toastmasters meeting that I had before. It will provide a summary like that, a wrap-up summary like that.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you. Sanjung, and then I will close.
Can I?
Yeah, can I do Sanjung and then Rendra?
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Sanjung?
Yeah, Alicia, could it be said that as long as I have privilege and login to website Toastmaster, I can use all the feature of Udly?
Yep. So as long as you're a member of Toastmasters International, a fully financial member of Toastmasters, you can use what I've shown you tonight. There is a few differences to the original Toastmasters, so the Toastmasters one compared to the paid one. I don't have the full scope of that, but I can come back with the answers for that. What's the difference between the two? This used to be a beta format, but now it's an actual live running site. Rendra. Yep.
Yes, sure. Alicia, I thank you so much for bringing it here. You not only bring the Excel for accountant, which is also amazing, but this IT tool is superb. I see the bright futures in my eyes according to the AI. And the question is, I don't know, is it possible when we start this meeting like 6 p.m. in Jakarta or 7 p.m. Bali, and the same time we somehow click the Udly or whichever tools available. So right after we close this meeting, well, then Udly can give assessment of the results of everything
Yeah.
related to the English of use, of course,
Yep.
but in a real time.
Yeah, it can. It can actually, like, it can be brought into real time. So everything that we're doing now, that we've got with the Udlys here, is being analyzed in real time. And then it'll take about, at the end, once the meeting does end and the Udlys will be kicked out, it will take about probably 5 to 10 minutes for it to upload with all the information in the real time, and then you forward it on to the people, onto the members.
That's super, man. We can implement it in for Bhinneka forward, mate. It is super analytical engineering IT tool, AI based, amazing. Thanks,
Can
Alicia.
I just want to put some clarifying points, because I know this is really exciting for everyone to use AI and all that, but I do want to point out a couple of things. Firstly, it's not 100% accurate when it comes to the grammarian and R counter, so we have to be very mindful of that. Secondly, we don't ever replace the human touch with coaching and doing our, with speaking and all that, because the human touch is always the best way forward. Use it as a tool to assist you, like you would use Grammarly to help you with your sentence structures, or if you use ChatGPT, for example, to help you with writing out something, with writing your speeches. This should never replace being human, because we don't want AI to be overtaking the world in the sense of overdoing it. We can't just 100% rely on this, because then we become, when we're put into the human contest, when you guys go in person to a contest and you don't have Udly, you don't have ChatGPT, one word, you're screwed. Just putting it out there. Use it as an assistance tool and have it there on the side. Bring it into the meetings, but don't bring it into every single meeting. Do it maybe once a month. I know it's exciting, and I think it is a very exciting tool, and I loved it the first time I did it. I use it all the time when I go to some of the Korean meetings, especially Korean University Toastmasters, and they understand it, but they use it to help them with their English, so that we can work through how to actually use the words in the sentence structure. That's how we use it with the grammarian counter. So don't replace it, but have it there as an additional tool. So think of it as like your backbone, to be there, but to guide you. And I just want to put it there because I think it's really important, because everyone gets excited about it. Yeah. Hi, ChatGPT, write me a 6-minute Toastmaster icebreaker. Can you scrape my Facebook? Exactly. Only you know your story. Does anyone else have any questions? Yes, Robin.
Yeah, I do have a question concerning the, let's say you record the live meeting for 2 hours, and then after that, how many more you can record after that? Do you have
You
like
can, you can record
maximum?
as many as you want. So just be 100% aware of that. So you'll only do 2 hours. I would probably in the break, if the Toastmasters Club has a break, say you've got a 3-hour meeting, I would probably, in that break, I would stop the recording, then come back and bring in a fresh bot. So they say that's the words, bring in a fresh bot to actually bring in that for the second half. I know
all
it's
right.
everyone's liking the words. It's the new way. Alicia's cool with the wording. So stop it in the halfway point and then bring in a new one.
Yeah. The second question I have is that, a lot of people are not, the English is not their first language.
Yep.
And I do not know how accurate this will be in terms of understanding English from different English as a second language. So how does it work, and does it really help people who use English as a second language. Like you were speaking about, you are in a Korean club, so to arrange the language, I mean the structure is fine, but let's say there are some words like some pronunciation, some intonation, like all these things, the way they say it might not be the same as like how an AI can capture. So is it accurate, or like how does it work?
Okay, so this is where we go back to the human touch. This is where you've recorded the meeting, you've brought in all the information. This is where, this is what's happened, blah, blah, blah. We see double crutch, we see so, and we hear. The speech coach in this example that you've given, if a person is not a native English speaker, is non-native, is where the coach or the mentor watches the recording of the speech, for example, or part of whatever the meeting is, and says to them, okay, I can see on the recording, this is what's happened, and we've got the double crutch and etc. How can we help you with the enunciation? And that's where you have your coach or your mentor working with you, and not to replace this with, oh, well, they've done this and they've got this grammar. So it doesn't actually take into account how you pronounce words, just as a heads up.
All right, thanks.
That's okay. Anyone else got any questions, since this is quite popular?
There is one question in the chat, but I think you
Yep.
can answer it after the session, but we need to move on because we're a little.
Oh, what is Udly short of? Udly, they made it up. There's a name behind, there's a story behind it. I'll get back to you guys on why it's called Udly. But
Yeah.
thank you very much, and I'll hand back to our lovely Tom Robin, who is from Mauritius, and he is African. Natalie, he is African.
Thank you very much, Alicia. Well, so now it's time for me as the Tom. Yes, I'm from, well, I come from an African country. I don't consider myself as an African, because every time people say that, oh, you're African, but why is your skin so fair? I get that a lot when I'm in Asia. Like, why are you not black? Yeah, I get that a lot. So anyways, let's move on to the next part of our program, which is the prepared speeches now. Thank you very much, Alicia. And now let's move on to this. We have two speakers. We have the first one, who is none other than Nancy. Am I pronouncing your name well, Nancy? And the second speaker is Kezia. Is that right? Kezia, right? Yeah. All right. I just want to know that I'm pronouncing your name well, so that I don't offend anyone, because in some meetings that I've pronounced some words, I mean, not meetings, but an official event that was broadcast on TV, I pronounced the name wrongly, and yeah, it was bad. Anyways, let's move on to the meeting. Let's have so the first speaker is Nancy. Nancy, when I asked her this question, what does path to peace means to you? And this is what she said to me. The path to peace is, let me see. So the path to peace for her is no, she didn't share with me. Anyways, so I will share with you. Let's hear from her. Nancy, what is a path to peace for you?
I would say feeling peace is where I feel safe about myself.
Safe about yourself. Wow, that's really good. I love that. Feeling safe in your own body. Yeah. All right. Now let's have our evaluator, the evaluator of Nancy, who is none other than Toastmaster Melita, all the way from Bali. I mean, she's from Madiun, but she's based in Bali. Let's welcome Melita. Over to you.
Thank you, Tom. Our first speaker today, Nancy, she will be delivered a speech with title Make a Difference. What Nancy gonna say is about make a difference, but her purpose of the prepared speech this evening is to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. Nancy will deliver a project writing a speech with purpose, 5 to 7 minutes. Then, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Nancy, make a difference, Nancy.
Before I start my speech, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. 4th August 2019. I started my very first project in volunteer. It was taking place at a city dump site. We held a literacy project and had some fun with the kids. It really broke my heart to realize that some of the kids between 7 to 12 years old cannot afford to continue their education. So they left out from schools. These kids are also having a tough life as they must work to help their parents. Besides, they also live in a bad environment where things like hurting animals, saying bad words, domestic violence are a very common things that happen into them. The experience in the city dump site marked as the first beginning of my journey in community service. It opened my eyes to the harsh realities faced by many and ignited a passion within me to make a difference in the lives of those who are less fortunate. Fellow Toastmaster, friends, and guests, community service brings me to the villages to teach the kids to read and write, share about the good things, and then I also did the same things to the kids who live in the city dump site. During the COVID-19 pandemic, I conducted a study group in my neighborhood, and I could see that almost most of the kids that I met, they made a good improvement. They can read better, they can write better, and of course, they also behave very well. Fellow Toastmaster, friends, and guests, there is a quote saying, opportunities do not happen, but we create them. And yes, we create the opportunity for these kids. We bring up the opportunity for them to access the learning experience. Beside that, we also conduct a competition for them, for the kids we also conduct a competition for them. We provide them with gifts and also trophy. I saw that these kids haven't experienced this before. As in school, when we wanted to join a competition, there will be the best students from the class that's selected, and not everyone get the same opportunity. But here, we bring this opportunity into these kids. Fellow Toastmaster, friends, and guests, serving people is not only good for it's not only good for the people that we help, but also good for ourselves. It can make us feel happier. The smile of people that we help brings another satisfaction to my inner soul, which I cannot get from anything else. Significant improvement is also seen in myself in aspect of social awareness, communication, and leadership skills. I also learned to appreciate my life more. Being grateful used to be very hard to do since I always look up and compare my life with my classmates. But understanding the situation of these unfortunate children, I began to realize that my situation is far better than theirs. I am blessed and fortunate to have all my needs provided by my family. Community service also give me access to connect to the community and also increase my social awareness to the people who live around me. Fellow Toastmaster, friends, and guests, my journey in community service is not only about dealing with kids. I also have a number of other activities such as free medical camp, beach cleanup, cleaning program, mobile library, and many more. I cannot mention one by one. And my upcoming project will be on October this year. We are going to conducting a blood donation, blood donation in Jogja here. I saw that some of our fellow members in Toastmaster are from Jogja, so I would love to invite them. If we can help more people, it will be great. Fellow Toastmaster, friends, and guests, through community service, I learned that I can get the opportunity to help others based on the capacity that I have as a student. Well, volunteering requires hard work and strong commitment. Yet, helping others doesn't mean that I must be rich. I am only a student, but with sincerity, with time, and with the energy that I have, I can help many people. Even helping out with the smallest task can make a difference to the lives of people and animals in need. The core value of community service is to be the solution to the community. I believe a real community is established when the people who live and work together become community conscious. When we become sensitive to the needs of the people in the group we call community. Volunteering in community, it doesn't always to be about poor people, but we can start with our family at home, with the club that we are joining right now. For instance, like in Toastmaster, we are doing volunteer as well here. So we can start with everything that surrounding us. And with that, fellow Toastmaster, my name is Nancy, and I challenge everyone here to make a difference in your life. Back to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, let's unmute yourself and let's give a round of applause to Nancy.
Yay!
Well done,
Nancy,
Nancy.
Nancy, Nancy.
You know, I asked you to unmute yourself because, you know, sometimes we just do this or someone have finished their speeches and, you know, it feels very encouraging to just unmute yourself and clap. You know, when I was in my meeting once in an in-person meeting, and you know what, that feels like great. That doesn't feel like, you know, oh, online, okay, I'm done, that's it. But it's a way to encourage the speakers. All right, so let's do that for every speakers. Let's move on to the next part of the meeting, which is the second speaker of tonight, who is none other than Kesia. And today she will be delivering her speech. And the evaluator is none other than Lorna, all the way from South Africa. But before that, let me share with you what Kesia was sharing with me about a path to peace. She said this to me, it's about accepting herself, the strength and weaknesses, knowing how she can put her skill to use and give back to the community, and not putting herself down for her weaknesses and improve on them instead. The best peace is peace within the self, soul, and mind. Wow, that's wonderful. So Kesia, I would like to invite your evaluator to explain the purpose of your speech and introduce you. Let's welcome Toastmaster Lorna all the way from South Africa. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Robin. Can you hear me clearly? You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So Kesia is looking at a speech with a defined purpose. She has learned about the basic methods for writing the speech, and she will present to us a well-organized speech on her particular topic. Her topic is teach. She will be speaking for 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Kesia. Kesia, teach by Kesia.
Thank you so much. First of all, is my voice audible? Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Mom, you sit right there. You're Jessica. Dad, you're there. You're, I don't know, John. And Jay, my sister, sit right there and think about what you've done. Ladies and gentlemen, I was 5 years old and I was playing teacher. My family, unfortunately for them, were playing students. Ever since I can remember, I always wanted to be a teacher. When my teacher asked me in school, what do you want to be in the future? Left and right hands shot up, a doctor, policeman, pop star. And I'd answer without hesitation, teacher. But what followed was a bunch of, oh. Even my own teacher was particularly curious. She pulled me aside. She asked me, why do you want to be a teacher? Didn't you want to be, a businesswoman? You could start your own brand. Another time, my aunt also asked me the same question, what do you want to be in the future? And to my reply, she said, do you ever not consider being something else? And so I asked myself, 5-year-old me, I asked myself, why do people question this? Being a teacher is the coolest job. And I always looked up to all of my teachers. I was always amazed at everything new that I learned that to them just seemed like second nature and that they've always known it their whole lives. And I wanted to be like that. It wasn't until a year ago that I gained a new perspective. So I was chosen as a delegate representing my province, East Java, at a national forum in Jakarta. I was so excited for it. I rarely go to Jakarta, so this is a great opportunity. I could meet new people, talk about school and whatnot. And sitting next to me was a woman, and she was a representative of Sulawesi Utara. And we were having a conversation, and she told me, year after year, I always try to get into one of these national forums. I've been teaching for 20 years, and I just want to be heard. Throughout the forum, she actively expressed her concerns for educational system, especially in Indonesia. She expressed about the struggle of teaching at a remote place where there's a lack of resources, there's not a stable access to internet connection. The lack of facility and resources have led to many of her students struggling with education, with basic education. The rate of unemployment as well as students out of school was very high in the area where she was from. And I was there sitting next to her, and in my mind was the question, how can I make homework less? I was nitpicking about the little things in the educational system that I was very privileged to even have, while hundreds of thousands of students in my own country, Indonesia, are still struggling to get basic access to library, to the internet, and let alone to ask the Google anything that they want. And I could do that. Ever since hearing her story, I remember what she said, I just want to be heard. And so I listened. I started exploring into the educational system, specifically in Indonesia. I researched into the pay gap in teachers, as well as its difference with the work hours and how it is very drastic between the pay gap and the work hours. I also researched into how there are still many remote places in Indonesia that are still struggling to work because of their lack of resources and basic resources. Because of this, I wanted to make a difference. And so I asked myself, what can I do? And so I started teaching myself. After hearing her story, this woman who was very passionate about her students, but was hindered by her situation, I knew that I could make a difference with the privilege that I have. And so I began my journey with volunteering with an organization that helped teach English to students in Kenya. And from there, I met so many like-minded students worldwide who also wanted to make a difference in their community, specifically in education. I went on then to intern at a foreign policy research institute where I specialized in the educational policy, especially in Southeast Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, if there's one thing that I want you to take away from this speech, it is to teach yourself. It all started with me questioning. I was questioning, why do people say these things to me? Because I want to be a teacher. And so I researched into what was happening on the field. I listened to people, and then I taught myself on how I could make a difference, a real life-changing difference in my own community. We're always taught, be a lifelong learner, but also be a lifelong teacher, and start by teaching yourself. And hopefully in the future, you can help others teach others as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Keisha Kling saying thank you for your time.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, Please unmute yourself, Toastmasters, and let's give a round of applause to Toastmaster Keisha.
Amazing.
Welcome
Well
home,
done, Keisha.
young lady.
Amazing. Wow, that was
Super.
a great speech. That was a great speech. I didn't know you were a teacher. You are very eloquent in English, and that was wonderful. And now let's move on to the next part of the meeting. We have the table topics now. But before we move to the table topics, I've been told that there's a change. I think there's a change on the agenda. So now we will invite our first evaluator, because our first evaluator needs to leave very soon. So let's invite Toastmaster Melita, who will deliver her evaluation on the first speaker, Nancy. But before that, before I hand over to you, what does path to peace means to you, Melita? Yes, there's
Why
only
is it
one
so?
Melita, right?
There's only yeah, I think so. I think so, right? And why is it the hard questions? Yeah, I'm just trying to make the fullest of my life by relax and chill in any kind of situations that I faced, like hold to reactions. I think that's the answer, Robin.
All right, thank you very much. I leave the floor to you now.
Nancy, it's such a pleasure for me as the audience here to hear your story about volunteering program that you make a difference in your volunteer project for children in City Dumpster. Thank you very much for sharing that. That's really such a heartful, and it was like I recall my experience because I also working in the community group as well. Listening to your story, there are two things that I really like about your story or your speech. First of all, I can sense that you are genuinely share the values that you got by doing a lot of like volunteering program or making a difference, such as now you learn to appreciate life better than before. And also you said that increased social awareness. Personally, I do really care about social awareness, like being mindful, not only for ourselves, but also for the others. Thank you very much for sharing that value. So I can recall, all right, so I need to increase my social awareness as well, as I heard Nancy saying that as well. And also you put like call to actions at the end of your speech. You make us move by saying like, I challenge you to make a difference for your life. Thank you very much for challenging us. And I hope everyone here challenge themselves to make a difference, just like Nancy did. Now in Toastmasters, there are always room for improvement. And I found improvement or rooms for improvement that you may think to consider my advices. So first of all, the content that you share, it would be wonderful if you can elevate or elaborate the content by telling us what are the difference happened with the community or with the children that you work for. I believe if we are working in the community, working with community, children, vulnerability groups, there are always like two ways changing. Like they will change us and also us will change them. So there will be like a two difference within us and also them. It will be great if you share with us after several moments you volunteer with the children. So what happens? What's going on? Are there behavioral changes with them? And you may share with us to enrich your content. And the second things that you may consider as well to do in your next speech is the pace. I really enjoy the way that you pace, but sometimes you need to pause a little bit. And also facial expressions. And then after that, you continued story with us. By that, you can add a spicy things to your speech. Overall, you share your genuinely values, and then you use call to actions and two things that you may consider to improve on, elaborate the contents, and also make the maximum pace. Nancy, keep making a difference and changes for all of us and for yourself. Back to Tom.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Melita. That was a great evaluation for Nancy. Please take note and learn from it so that you can improve on being the best speaker. Now let's move on to the next part of our meeting, which is table topics, the most exciting part of this meeting. And this part of this meeting is led by none other than the most handsome in the entire multiverse and the one with the beautiful hair than any other girls in the entire world. Let's welcome the one and only His Majesty, Toastmaster Rendra.
Well, bro, I miss you like crazy, man. You should be here again as a permanent member in Bhinneka Online Toastmasters. You can start it right now. Now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, especially all the guests coming to the Bhinneka Online Toastmasters. I love you all. Please, I'm saying from the bottom of my heart. Now I'd like to bring you a session that I can call it something the funniest, the most exciting place that we can elaborate how we speak English impromptu. Now, I already prepared some questions. I think I already prepared 10. However, I need timer to text me how many questions I can deliver. Okay? Timer, you can text me according to the agenda. Or our grammarian and acting president mentioned 4. Okay, cool then. 4 is okay. Now, the first question is I will give all those questions, especially to those who do not have roles or responsibilities. So let me see. I have ET. Can you participate in table topic, ET?
Yes, I concur. Participate.
Yeah, cool. Super, super. Okay, cool. Now, the question is, what are the key principles outlined in the Concord, in the peace? What are the key principles outlined in the Concord between two groups or two communities? ET, 1 to 2 minutes is yours.
What are the key principles? Can you repeat? You are muted. The key principles. You are still muted, Rendra.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Please
What I'm
repeat,
doing.
repeat once.
Okay, cool.
Repeat again.
Sure.
What are the key?
I text to you. What are the
Oh,
key
okay, please.
principles outlined in the path to peace and conquer?
Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh, that's quite. Okay, I'll start. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, today I got the chance to speak about the key principles outlined in the path to peace and conquer. But true to be honest, I didn't know about this, and I tried to believe that the path to peace itself, we need to have the both parties to have the reach the consensus, to have a treaty, a peace treaty, and also can be conquered with their statement of the country. Because if we cannot reach the conquered itself, it is will be dilemmatic. For example, we have the situation right now in the global, two countries is having a cold war about the trading market, and also the other party have the hot war, literary war. The missiles and the bomb is everywhere. Some souls sadly to be taken as the, well, the victims of the war. And I know this is not easy to achieve that kind of peace. If I can achieve that kind of peace, maybe I can be the what we know, the ambassador of peace in UN, United Nations, or got the Nobel Prize of peace. But well, I didn't see myself to become that kind of person yet. But who knows? Maybe someday, I can be the one that at least mentioning the correct key principles that online in the path to peace and concord. Well, not for now, but someday. I'll tell you when I know it upon. Back to you, Titi Amanda.
Okay, thank you, E.T. Well, Robin mentioned it is the most difficult questions in the entire multiverse. Well, I say it's not that hard. You just say something in 1 and 2 minutes. Okay, and now I give to Yvonne. Yvonne, it seems that you do not have roles tonight. So the questions to you is,
Thank you, Brenda.
yes, what role do diplomacy and negotiations play in achieving peace and concord? I text it. What
Okay,
role
thank you.
do diplomacy and negotiation play in achieving peace and concord? According to you, Yvonne, just say something in 1 to
Okay.
2 minutes.
Thank
Cool.
you.
Yvonne, time's
Thank you. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
very clear.
Okay. Okay, thank you. For my personal experience in my life and for some teaching I learned, I think the very important talking about the peace, no matter what kind different of the peace in this world. I think the very important self-discipline. This is most important. And of course, the self-discipline, we must learn some educational information. And also, we must practice it. If we don't have the self-discipline and the self-awareness, no matter, even you have the very high official in the government or anything, you have a lot of money, but you always may be in step in the suffering life. So talking about the peace, the path of the peace, in my mindset, everyone in this world, we must keep ourselves self-discipline and self-awareness and concord to like some teaching or some statement of the government. Actually, that would the only way to help us into the path of peace. So how to practice that? According to accept the self-discipline, for my personal experience, we can practice from the meditation. Only way, during the meditation, you can really recognize your thought and your behavior. And then you know how to improve our personal, the voice, the mind, and our body, then that we can avoid the suffering. Thank you. Back to you, Rendra.
Yeah, thank you, Yvonne. And thank you for all those participants that already involved in these 2 questions. Now I would like to invite, it seems that Sanjung, is it your first time coming to this club?
Yeah, Rendra, this is my first time visit.
Okay, cool. Because you are participate in a counter, and so far I know a counter maybe has a minimal time to speak. So you have the third questions. It is, what are the main obstacles to achieving peace and conquer? It is already there in the text. What are the main obstacles to achieving peace and concord, according to your idea? 1 to 2 minutes. Sanjung, time is yours.
There are people in our country or organization, every one of them have their own perspective, opinion, and point of view. They say that we are in the different vision, so I can to be united again with you. First, there is no the same vision anymore. And the second, there is no open-minded that say, oh, it's that all the opinion, all the point of view. I think that my opinion is the best than others. Second, no people have respect. And the third is there is no concord ambience of the people, in which the first thing that we should have aware in our life is we are always have differences point of view between our or between us, but the things or the essential that we have to say is accepting another opinion, accepting another point of view. However, there is only an togetherness, or I think the escape or solution for every issue or every war in our environment. But why those can be resolved? Because all of us here suppose that our minded and our opinion is the best and others is incorrect. Over to you.
Yeah. So we have a lot of ambassadors of the diplomatic persons that can help us in dealing with concords with others member of others clubs. Thank you, Sanjung. So Alicia, in Indonesia we call her name Sanjung. I don't know, maybe in Australia you call her Sanjang. Okay, in Sanjung here in Indonesia. Now, I think I will have Toastmaster Lorna. Can you be the fourth participants? Yeah.
Only if you ask.
Cool.
Only if you
So,
ask a simpler question.
yeah. This question
Okay.
is so easy to you because you are a
Woo.
PhD student. So this will be easy to you. So
I hope so.
what are some successful case studies or examples of concords being implemented maybe among countries according to you? It's already
Okay.
there in the text. What are successful case studies or example of concords being implemented?
In the
You
interest
have
of time.
experience, I believe. 1 to 2 minutes, Toastmaster Lorna.
In the interest of time, I will explain one case study that involved the different races and people in South Africa coming together in concord to establish the new South Africa in more than 30 years ago. That took a lot of effort and a lot of negotiation and a lot of diplomacy. And if you know the story of South Africa, you know that we lived a very divided life based on the color of our skins. And that was very frightening as a child. I had to go through that. I am a Black woman. My skin is not black. So I just want to make sure that everyone understands that black is something that is a construct that is put on you by your oppressors. It is not something that you choose. And therefore, when the different business people, the ANC, which is the party at the time that was banned, and other parties came together in Dakar, They discussed the future of my country, which is now the new South Africa, and the future of my life and my existence in this country. Had that case not happened properly, we would have been at war. So I am very proud to say that that is a particular case where people, men, mostly men, had to put their egos in their back pockets, come to the table and negotiate, firstly, the release of Nelson Mandela, who I'm sure you know, and the person who received the Nobel Prize for Peace, and others like Bishop Desmond Tutu, himself also Nobel Prize, Peace Prize winner, and the former white government person who also received the Nobel Prize for Peace. So I think that that particular case study really gels with today's theme of peace, but also with the concept of concord, because had there not been concord, there would have been hell on earth in Africa, because South Africa is the gateway to the rest of Africa, and we really serve the African continent with much focus on peace and negotiation and all sorts of ways that we want to build in diplomacy so that we don't end up having an African war, which will be a terrible thing. Back to you, the Topics
Wow.
Master.
Everyone, unmute yourself. Give a round of applause and our standing ovation.
Wow.
Take the thanks like normal.
All of the public speakers tonight, hats off.
That was amazing, ladies and gentlemen. That's amazing. As Natalie mentions, acting president tonight, 4 questions is already delivered to those lucky 4 participants. I'm happy I was giving the last questions to the expert. So this is exactly, ladies and gentlemen, the correct examples of Concord is in South Africa. So far, I know they have a long, hard, bloody story about getting conquered. However, now South Africa, to my own understanding, is one of the most developed country in Africa continents, and I'm happy to witness South Africa in G20, like Indonesia, like Australia also. So I'm happy to witness that in our lifetimes, we see the concord is actual happening in some places. And my pray and my hope still there to the concord happens in Ukraine and Russia, and as well as in Palestine and Israel. So I hope those groups of nations can get the concord as peace as soon as possible. That's all. 4 questions done, and I give the control to the most handsome person in African continent, Tom Robin Chan. Robin, time is yours.
I am speechless. I am speechless. What can I say right now? I wanted to say something and then he just said this. I'm like, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know, that is one phenomenon guy here, Rendra. If you do not know him, now you know him. Thank you very much for all those PH ChatGPT D questions of tonight. I do not know how to answer all these questions, but all these are mind-blowing questions that I do not know how people can even understand and comprehend this kind of question, but thanks for that. Wow. Oof, I don't know what to say. Let me take a deep breath first. Let's chill first to take some time. Whew. Oh my goodness.
Vote.
All right, let's move on to the next part of the meeting. And thank you very much, Toastmaster Rendra, for leading us on table topics today. Now, I would like to hand over to our one and only. In before I introduce the next, I hand over to the next person. In every one of my favorite cartoon is Tom and Jerry. So in Toastmasters, there's not Tom and Jerry, but there's a Tom and a GE. So let's welcome our GE now to take over the next part of the meeting. Over to you.
Thank you, Robin, for expressing our feelings of concord that we are all stumped. But let's move on. We cannot live in the past. Let's go to the future. And with that, let's welcome our second evaluator, evaluating Keisha's speech, because remember, Melita already gave her evaluation. Welcome. Who is it?
Lorna.
Lorna, yes. Apologies. Lorna, please.
Thank you. Keisha, you intrigued me from the minute you started speaking, where you expressed your ideas of what a teacher meant for you and why you wanted to be a teacher already at the age of 5. That was really cool to hear from you. I'm a qualified teacher, and we used to whisper. If someone is a teacher, we'd say, that's a teacher. Nowadays, people don't do that. The image of a teacher has changed. Sometimes it's quite negative. But the minute you spoke about the lady you met where she said, I just want to be heard, that also touched me. And the things that she said could be seen in schools here in South Africa. The education system is not perfect. And there are people talking about it but doing nothing about it. What I liked about your speech is that you were talking about how you've taught yourself, you read up, you went to study what is happening in the schools or the education system in Indonesia. So there's quite a lot that you brought into your speech. And the wow factor for me is how you are not just a lifelong learner, but you are a lifelong teacher of yourself. And that was key for me. You speak to us and ask us to do the same. And for that call to action, I also applaud you. In terms of improvements, I would love to have heard a bit more stats about the Indonesian schooling system. You mentioned issues, but the stats would have really punched your speech. Like, for example, the percentage of people who have access to internet for purposes of learning. I would also suggest, I heard you are very eloquent. I heard pitch a little bit. I heard pacing a little bit. I did not hear much pausing. And perhaps if you bring a little bit more pausing into it, the impact would be greater. I really look forward to your next speech. I hope I will be able to visit the club again. And I would like to say that I think we are all in accord that you did a brilliant job. Thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you. Let's ask help from the timer to confirm that everyone is eligible to be voted. And of course, let's vote for everything, is it? We vote for everything all at once?
Okay, Lorna. Okay, so for all are eligible except Lorna as a table topic, 2 minutes. So all are eligible except Lorna as a table topic, 2 minutes, 2 minutes 55. And then just now Lorna 2 minutes. 2 minutes 25. Okay. Yeah. That's all. The
Okay.
report I already put in the chat box. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. So let's commence voting. Thank you, timer. Best evaluator, no.
Yes, because Melita is overtime. So
Ah.
yeah, it's goes to Lorna by default.
Yeah. Actually, question for Toastmaster Lorna need 2 hours to respond.
What do you mean,
1 to 2
Ava?
minutes is 1 to 2 minutes not even not enough. But that's so deep and insightful.
Okay, GE, poll is done.
Thank you for voting. And let's straight away move to the reports. Somehow my Excel closed. Let's have the accountants report, please. Toastmaster Sanjung.
Thank you, GE Genison. Thank you, everyone. This is my time to deliver my report. It's such an impression for me because I encounter advanced speakers here, and this is daunting as well for me to count the filler words because there is a less filler words that say by the speakers. Natalie, no filler words, repeated words, and pause, and she say the word of the day, concord. Dian, no filler word, no repeated word, no pause, and she's don't say any word of the day. Genison, no filler words, no repeated word, and no pause, and say the word of the day. Robin, no filler words, no pause, no repeated word, but he doesn't say the word of the day. Alicia, no filler words, no repeated word, and say the word of the day. Nancy, one filler words, not repeated words, one pause, and not word of the day. Keisha, non-filler words, two repeated words, and she doesn't say word of the day. Rendra say the three word of the days and non-filler words. E.T. say 3 times word of the day and none of the filler words. Yvonne, non-filler words, and there is no word of the day. And myself say more than 5 filler words and 3 repeated words, and I say the concord as the word of the day. Lorna, non-filler words, and say the word of the day. Melita, 1 repeated word and non-word of the day. I think that's all the report from me as the and counter and word of the day counter.
Thank you, Sanjung. That's a very specific, and I think we can all learn from Sanjung's counting. Hopefully, Yodlee doesn't replace real accounters soon, because I love accounters, man. Thank you, Sanjung. Next, we have our grammarian, Toastmaster Natalie, please.
Yes, thank you, GE. What a colorful meeting tonight. We have many interesting moments, and I don't know if you can see my screen. Is it okay? Like, yes, okay. Let me start with interesting terms and tidbits that I learned in this meeting. First is WPM, which is word per minute. And it happens during Alicia's session. I just found out that the average speaking for female is 120 to 140 words per minute, and then the male is 150 to 180 words per minute. It's interesting tidbits that I'll keep in the back of my mind. When I look at myself, I notice that my speaking rate is about 100 to 125, so I think I'm within the range, so it's very believable. Another thing that I learned is also about inclusive language, and I did a little bit of research. Inclusive language aims to avoid biases, stereotypes, and exclusion of any group of people. So the example is using general neutral terms such as folks, not guys, chairperson, not chairman, and also it helps to respect identity and preferences, such as use person with disability rather than disabled person, so we can focus on the person first. Next is some improvement. There are not many improvement, but I'm trying to nitpick and look at ways that we all can improve. So one thing that I noticed is that when you are in a formal setting, you can use some formal speaking form, such as Don't use gonna say, but you can say, I'm going to say something. And whenever you tell stories, obviously it happens in the past. So use past tense, such as instead of he provided me with something. I delivered the speech. I said, he said. Last but not least is better expression for better clarity. For example, instead of saying left out from school, it's left out of school. We can start with everything surrounding us. We can start with everything around us. And honestly, as a grammarian, my brain is fried during the table topic session because I'm trying to understand the question. The first question, I even asked ChatGPT to know the meaning. So I found out that a better way to rephrase, especially the first question, what are the key principles outlined in the path of peace and concord? ChatGPT told me that when you're using key principle outline, usually it refers to a book, a document, or an agreement. So I think the better way to say it is, what is your take on finding path to peace and concord? Next is my favorite part, the beautiful usage from all of our speakers tonight. The first one is the real meat in the meat pie. It's an analogy and it means the most important thing. AI should not replace human touch. We can use it to assist us, a great reminder. And then opportunities do not happen, we create them. Community conscious. I particularly love this phrase because it's alliteration, which means that it has like similar sounding in the beginning of each word, community conscious. The best type of peace is peace from within. So it's very deep and reflective phrase. Becomes a second nature, which means that it comes naturally to you. And last is be a lifelong teacher. And as usual, whenever I become a grammarian, I pick one sentence among the sentences or phrases that I've heard. And tonight's pick is, I just want to be heard. So I listen. Thank you, and back to GE.
Thank you. Amazing grammarian, Natalie. Very specific, very colorful slides. And yes, indeed, a very colorful meeting, and I shall help put it to a close on a high note. Thanks. Now, for my general evaluators report, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Very clear.
Yes, okay.
Crystal.
Bhinneka Toastmasters, it's been great. And the first thing people see when they attend your meeting is, of course, I always say this, your agenda. Some points I liked in general is that Natalie started with warmest welcome, guest, and introduction. I cannot stress enough how positively this affects our perception of a club when guests are welcomed. Even though we are not the guest, we get a good feeling just by seeing people getting welcomed. And the backgrounds are amazing. It's so colorful. Everyone has different color backgrounds. And I think I want one too, with the Bhinneka in the left and the artistic painting on the right. Evaluator introduces the speaker, which I think is amazing. I like it way more than the Tom, then to evaluator, then to Tom again, then to speaker. And chat has a lot of chats and reactions. This is actually a cause. What I mean by this is this actually means that your club has a really great atmosphere and your meeting has a really positive atmosphere. I don't know from where, but the proof is that the chat has a lot of chats and a lot of reactions and fun all around. And that's great. Some things about the agenda that I noticed is that it's not a PDF, it's an Excel sheet. Please export it to a PDF so that everyone can open it easily next time. And of course, there are some errors. I think this is because it's not a PDF, so it shows errors. And the links are clickable. That's nice. And of course, there is one club number which is black while other texts are white. I don't know why. So that's about it for the agenda. For key persons, Robin, first you ask around. And after the table topic was over, you mentioned, I don't understand. I don't know what to say. I think that's actually great. Rather than feigning something positive, being like being in concord with the audience that you are stumped is actually a positive thing to do as an MC. It might hurt to not be awarded. What I mean by this is you asked the audience to give a big round of applause for the second speaker, but you did not for the first, nor for any other speakers afterwards. It might feel negative for some people involved in the interaction. Now, Alicia, asking questions at the start is crucial to judge how you should approach, to judge the audience's knowledge and to engage the audience. Well done. And you show real results from yourselves. It's your own Yodlee recording and you show the improvement. I think that's a key to a good workshop, is that we can see that the workshop speaker themselves improve from what they are teaching. That actually gives a very high persuasive strength to your workshop. Now, Dian, you give precise timing quickly and confidently. I didn't feel this one. And Sanjung, you mentioned everyone by name, and you mentioned everyone specifically, whether they used and whether they use the word of the day. However, please no need to say something that is neutral, such as didn't say the word of the day. If they didn't say, just skip the whole sentence. It's my recommendation. Natalie, the thing that I learned. This is your grammarian. You said the thing that I learned. It's a good sentence to share, but it's also persuasive in a way that you are not persuasive. Hey, please learn this. It's like the thing that I learned. Please, I just want to share this with you. And you gave specific feedback. However, you said last but not least. That is not the last but not least 2 times. Please be aware of this. It might seem confusing that you mentioned last but not least, but you are not ending the speech for some people. Prepared speakers, I would say brilliance is the theme of the speeches today. Nancy, you have an incredible story. You summarize really well. And however, I would suggest that your gestures are too synced with what you are saying. So I'm saying one sentence again, one sentence again. It might feel robotic after some points. And Keisha, I started teaching myself. And I really liked how you gave that quote to the audience, how you delivered that quote, and you going philosophical. And at the end, you said, if there is one thing I want you to take away. However, I would like to, if you have more attention anchors. What is attention anchor is, how can a 1-hour podcast be interesting for the whole 1 hour? It's attention anchors. And that is humor, a structure, 1, 2, 3. Or ladies and gentlemen, I would like to wrap this up. That is attention anchors. Words or sentences that brings us back. Oh, I should listen more when our attention is fading. Table topics. Rendra, you gave an amazing experience for district level table topics, because in my experience in District 80 in Singapore, in the previous years, one of the district table topics, district competition table topics question is purple bird. How do you answer purple bird? And the winning answer was, they just took the one word, which is purple. What does purple mean to you? And he went on to that. So my advice is to the table topic speakers, if a question stumps you so hard, you cannot think of anything, just take one word from the question and use that one word as your whole table topic. So what are the key principles outlined in the path to peace and concord? You can choose key principles, outline, like what is your principle in life? How do you outline your life? What is the key to your life? What is the path to, what is peace to you? See, it's quiet. There are many ways to tackle this problem. Just don't tackle the whole sentence, tackle one word. Yeah, stumped, show it with confidence. Yvonne, you pivoted the topic, you related to the audience about self-discipline. That's amazing. However, remember, less is more. It would have been much more impactful if after you delivered your how do we keep improving about self-discipline, after the 1 minute 30-second mark, to just stop it right there, because the later half of your speech, you are just repeating the first half. And table topic, Sanjung, you keep going on, even though it's not making sense. However, I can assure you that if the topic makes sense, it would have been an amazing speech. And however, please don't forget that you can ask the audience, what do you think of this? My friends, when I think of this question, the thing that comes to mind is don't forget that you can interact to buy time or to break the ice. And Lorna, I love that you mentioned one case only. It's actually a pretty good structure to give a table topic. Just give one thing that is so impactful that people say, wow, that's a good table topic. And yeah, when you mentioned, I'm sure you know, it's Nelson Mandela, you can actually reverse it to create a much more impactful effect, which is there is one person that this, he's Nelson Mandela. Instead of, I'm sure you know Nelson Mandela. Okay, elevators gave some eloquence. Melita, you can see that she's thinking hard there. She's genuine, she smiled. They will change, and two ways. That's a very, one of the best feedback I've heard in a while is that don't forget that when they change you, you also change them. And please reflect on that, tell us the audience. And it will be great. Consider she has a lot of hedging words that makes the evaluation easier to apply for the listener. And Lorna, I just want to be heard. You mentioned a personal connection in your evaluation, which I think is an impactful thing to have in your evaluation, because your evaluation is usually about the speaker only. But if you can relate about yourself, it makes it more powerful, in my opinion, uniquely. Now, conclusion, it's a good meeting. It's got a warm welcome. The backgrounds are amazing. Atmosphere is amazing, even in the crisis. And crisis is where we learn best. And of course, thank you. That's my general evaluation. I would love to attend more of Bhinneka meetings because, yeah, it's been a very colorful and amazing meeting. I think we are all in concord with that. Back to Toastmasters of the meeting, Robin.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Jennison. And wow, that was very thorough evaluation today. Now, I think that's all for today from my side and from the GE as well, and for everyone. Now I will hand back the floor to the acting president, Natalie.
Yes, I just realized we haven't taken group photo.
Oh yeah, we haven't taken group photos.
Rendra, can you help take a group photo?
I always can. So everyone, please turn on your video, please. E.T. Jettisons. Bro, Jettisons, turn on your video, bro. Are you somewhere in the restroom? Dian, can you turn on your video? Okay, cool. Okay, everyone. As mentioned earlier by someone, please see your camera as you see Natalie face. Okay, I got it now. 3 and 2 and 1. Okay. I will take second photos to ensure that we have
peaceful.
another.
Show your
Sure.
face.
So now showing your face if you have great concords with your with your someone special. Okay. Show me your very great face of a great concord. Wait. Oh. 3, 2, and 1.
Is it
Okay. Wait. I have to repeat because Dian Vivi has pops up on her face in my laptop. Not your fault, my fault. So I have to retake again.
Which one?
With the same pose. 3 and 2 and 1. Done. Thank you, Acting President Ed.
Thank you, Rendra. Now, before we move on, Rendra, if you can take also the winner or the favorite speakers. It's the ballot counter. I almost got forgotten, but I'm back as the ballot counter before acting president to announce the winner of favorite speakers tonight. So the first one, winning by default, Toastmaster Lorna Holtman as the best evaluator.
Wait, let me pin Lorna.
Yes, please.
Wait. Pin, yes,
Where's your
done.
magic, Sandra?
Okay, now I adjust the size of both. Okay, now cool. Lorna, I will take your photo in 3, 2, 1. Super.
Awesome. Next, we have the
Done.
best speaker, Toastmaster Keisha, 10.
Wait, I will
Congratulations.
pin and then Keisha. Pin. Cool. Take a photo in 3, 2, 1. Yes, super.
Last
Amazing.
but not least, and this one is really least, Toastmaster Jennison, is the best table topic. Toastmaster Yvonne, congratulations, our recurring guest.
Wait, Toastmaster Yvonne. Okay, cool. Pin, Toastmaster Yvonne. Now I would like to take photos of you, Toastmaster Yvonne. 3, 2, 1. Ladies, take this all. Oh, amazing ladies. I'm happy for that. Great.
Thank you,
Done.
Petra. Okay,
Sure.
now I'm gonna be back and putting on different hats as the acting president to close this meeting. My apology, we will finish 5 minutes late from the agenda. So I would like to apologize in advance, but I really thank you all for your active participation and your contribution to make this meeting very dynamic, very interesting, and also engaging. Thank you to all the role takers. This was a Jennison as excellent GE. Two-row evaluation, I totally enjoy it. Welcome anytime to our club. I believe that, we can have fun together. Thank you, Toastmaster Lorna, as the speech evaluator. Also, thank you, Toastmaster Sanjung as the counter, Toastmaster Robin, obviously, as the TOM, who's quite stumped after the table topic session, but it's all good. And last but not least, see, I use this quite a lot. So this will be one of my point of consideration. Toastmaster Alicia Curtis, my good friend, as the session speaker. I think everyone truly enjoyed the youthly edu session, and we might need to do it in a longer session next time in maybe different clubs or different area. And yeah, thank you for all your participations. If I can just ask 2 quick guest comments just from Sanjung and also Yvonne, because you haven't introduced yourself in the beginning, and make it fair for everyone. So Toastmaster Sanjung, what is your feedback after attending our meeting for the first time?
Thank you, Toastmaster Natalie, as the visiting Toastmaster at the first time today on Sunday. This is such an amazing meeting. We have such a limited participant, less than 15. So this is more intimate. So everyone of us has opportunity to practice our speech. And of course, every speaker and every participant here show an amazing performance from the Tom, general evaluator, table topics master, the prepared speech speaker, and evaluator. So this can make my eyes open wider. And hopefully I can visit again for the next meeting later.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjung. Welcome anytime. We're glad that this meeting has bring value for you. And we want to hear from Yvonne, our recurring guest. Finally, you won the table topic, Yvonne. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you so much. The meeting is so lovely and so fun. It's really fantastic. And I appreciate GE Jonathan. Well, it's very comprehensive feedback so much. I love it so much. And especially the speaker, the 2 speaker and the evaluator. I appreciate your very wonderful contribution, your language. I love it so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Yvonne. Welcome back anytime. And that's all for our meeting tonight. We're going to end at 5 minutes late, but thank you. And we'll see you in our next meeting. The meeting, Bhinneka Online Toastmasters Club meeting, officially adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.